We've got work to do.
There's a storm coming in.
Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who theory video. Today we're going to be discussing the identity of the elusive One Who Waits. Or I suppose they've also been called the Oldest One. But who are they? It's one of the biggest mysteries surrounding this new season. Well, I've compiled a list of people and gods that I think it very likely could be, and I'm going to talk you through my evidence for why. And if you wait around to the end of the video, you can see how Ruby's parentage and Ruby being a god may tie into all of this. So strap yourselves in, because here we go. Also, before we jump into the video, I'm just going to ask, if you like the stuff, you like the content, please subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and it allows me to keep YouTube as my part-time job, which is absolutely, it's loads of fun, so please subscribe. Theory 1, Sutekh. Dun dun dun. I feel like it needed some form of musical accompaniment. Who is Sutekh, for those of you who don't know? Well, he's arguably one of the most famous classic Who villains from the story The Pyramids of Mars, back in the 4th Doctor's era. The 4th Doctor, played by Tom Baker, and Sarah Jane, played by Elizabeth Sladen, faced the evil Sutekh, played by Gabriel Wolfe, who also voiced the Beast in, what's it called? The Impossible Planet, and the Satan Pit. But yeah, Sutekh, as some of you may know, is an Egyptian god. Big, evil god, loads of powers, really creepy, does mind control-y stuff. That's kind of what you need to know if you don't know already. But you've got to think about the basis of this series. It's all about myths, legends, and gods. He is basically an ancient myth. He's a legend. He is a god. So I think whoever the One Who Waits is some form of being like Sutekh, who's been allowed into the universe by the 14th Doctor sprinkling the salt. Like, the barriers and walls of the universe are loose, which allow people like the Toymaker or the Maestro into our universe. So I think, yeah, it's only logical to assume a god is on the way. Now, this mysterious woman that keeps cropping up in every episode, called Susan Triad. That's her name, at least from episodes 7 and 8. Susan Triad technology. I mean, if we're breaking it down immediately, Triad technology, triangle, pyramids are triangular. We're going, these are the looser connections first. But if there is Sutekh, you could have this big, like, sort of triangular thing that he emerges from, representing the pyramids from Pyramids of Mars. And even on a, like, smaller scale, Sutekh, maybe that's a stretch, but there is something there. Also in unit, we've got the Vlinks, which sounds very close to Sphinx, and where did Unit get this mysterious robot thing from? Maybe he's a sort of inside informant. I mean, the plot synopsis for episodes 7 and 8 say about how there's an ancient evil lurking inside Unit HQ. What if it's the Vlinks, and unbeknownst to everyone else, he's a sort of double agent who's been working for Sutekh? I mean, he's already got a weird, like, robot-y face mask thing. There's also the sand clouds we've seen in the trailer, like that giant swarm of sand that Mel and the Doctor are on a moped driving away from. And Sutekh does have a line in the Pyramids of Mars where he's sort of like, I'll turn everything to dust, to sand. It's something along those lines, so maybe that's him. Like, if we've got this theme of ancient Egypt, maybe he swarms the world with sand. Also, we got a little Pyramids of Mars reference, kind of, in The Devil's Cord, where the Doctor does exactly what he did for Sarah Jane and takes Ruby back to the present day if it was destroyed in the past. Now, there's probably more things that I haven't mentioned or I've forgotten, so let me know in the comments down below, but we'll move on to our second theory, the Trickster. Now, this is a character who I've already went into great depth and discussion about in a separate video, which, if you want to go and check that out, check it out, it's on the channel, but I'll quickly talk you through the thinking of this theory now. His motif from the Sarah Jane Adventures is incredibly similar to the song that Ruby starts to have come out of her when Maestro, like, does all the evil stuff and Ruby's floating.
That's wrong. What do you mean?
There's a hidden...
And the original plot for Sarah Jane's daughter Skye was that in a Christmas special she'd be left on the doorstep in the snow, Sarah Jane would take her in, and by the end of the season it was supposed to be revealed. Sadly they never got to shoot it because of the sad passing of Elizabeth Sladen, but by the end of the season it was going to be revealed that Skye was the daughter of the Trickster, and she's evil, and dun dun dun, Bannerman Road's in danger. So what if Russell is kind of reusing that plot, rejigging it a little bit, and making Ruby the child of the Trickster? There's more details on this theory in a separate video, because like Clyde in the little Doctor Who mini-sode things they did, he holds that Trickster box, and it's in the memory TARDIS, and we know that the memory TARDIS is cropping up in season 1, so yeah, just go and watch that video, go and find it. Our third option is the Daleks. Now these aren't necessarily the one who waits, these are more just the villains of season 1. What's my evidence for the Daleks? Well, number one, we kind of know, because I think Russell said in a Doctor Who magazine a very long time ago, that episode 7 starts with the Roswell incident, or around that time period in America. The Roswell incident, for those of you who don't know, is that incredibly famous UFO sighting, UFO case in America, crashed UFO, Area 51, all of that jazz. Now, the standard UFO looks incredibly similar to a Dalek ship. Maybe that's a little bit of a loose connection, but it's also been apparently leaked that there's Daleks. On set, people heard workers on set saying, "Oh, run from the Daleks," to all the supporting artists. And they were running through the street being exterminated, or were they running through the street from that sand? I mean, that sand shot that looks like sand clouds could just have the CGI Daleks removed from it so as not to spoil their appearance, or it could actually have been sand, and maybe the workers on set were deliberately trying to throw people off the scent. If they are Daleks, they're going to have to be new Daleks, I think. Maybe sort of godlike, mythic Daleks outside of time, or maybe they've teamed up with a god, or something to differentiate them from the Daleks, which we've seen be defeated about 3 bazillion times now. And I'd kind of be up for that. If you've got new Daleks, new design, definitely. The Time War ones are cool, but give us a fresh design. Give us new Daleks, new everything. That'll be so, so cool. Then I guess you could kind of imply maybe the one who waits is Davros, but I think that's unlikely. Now on to what I'd argue is possibly my strongest and most "oh please let this happen" theory, because for those of you who've watched this channel, since the dawn of this channel, I have been begging for this character to come back. I've made several fan films that include this character's return, but Omega. Or Omega, because I always get complained at for saying it the American way. I just think it sounds better, Omega, compared to Omega. Like, Omega sounds like going, oh my god, like Omega. I prefer Omega, but I'm going to get hounded in the comments for that, so I hold my hands up, I'm evil. It's actually me. I am the one who waits. The one who waits for you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Please. Thank you. But Omega fits this category well. He's a god. He's a big god, and he ties in to the Doctor and Ruby's character arcs. Ruby and the Doctor have both realised they're orphans, they're adopted, and they kind of want to, know their origin story. There's a difficulty with their past and not knowing. Omega could provide the Doctor with these answers. He is one of the founding fathers of Gallifrey. He was there with Tecteun in the Timeless Children when all of that stuff was happening, so he definitely knows the Doctor's history and backstory. Also, Russell's mentioned in Doctor Who magazine that episodes 7 and 8 feature an evil from the 3rd Doctor's era that's been lurking. Omega's first appearance was in the 3rd Doctor's era, and this is incredibly loose, so don't believe it. I don't think this is the case at all, but IMDb and people are saying Sean Pertwee is going to crop up in the finale playing his father, John Pertwee. So if you've got a bit of the 3rd Doctor going on there, it kind of makes sense that the Omega who met the 3rd Doctor first would... yeah. Who are Ruby's parents? Who are Ruby's next of kin? We don't know. Ruby's next of kin maybe is Ruby, because the Susan Triad ambulance thing couldn't find anyone. And I think, I'm willing to put money on it, Ruby is the one who dropped herself off at that church under that cloak, which is distinctly Trickster looking. But I think, yeah, Ruby is the one that drops herself off at the church. What if Ruby is a physical form created for Omega to inhabit so he can walk upon our universe once more? Omega's whole thing, he was surviving through his will. What if, after the walls of the universe sort of broke down because of the salt, he, through his will, willed in a body or a baby or something for his existence to take place in? And Ruby is kind of like his child or his surrogate body so that he can enter the universe and cause havoc. And maybe he's a bit petty, because the Doctor's sort of defeated him twice now, so he's kind of like, I'm not going to go directly for the Doctor's body, but if I create my own god-powerful body within the form of Ruby, and she's the Doctor's best mate, like linking together all the coincidences, it's kind of Omega's plan, that's a stab in the Doctor's heart, and also it allows Omega into our universe. There's a load of stuff there, see if you can make coherency of it and let me know what you think of Omega in the comments. But our final theory is Ruby. What if Ruby is the one who waits? What if she's kind of like a sleeper agent? There's something in her, kind of like I suggested with Omega, that is waiting for the right moment. Her and the Doctor's chemistry, how quick she was given a TARDIS key and invited aboard the TARDIS, it was all incredibly quick, and the Doctor was scanning for something in Ruby, so what if she is maybe like a sleeper agent kind of thing? She doesn't even know herself, but when the moment is right, she who is waiting for that moment is, yeah, something's going to happen with the Doctor. I mean, the one who waits, she's waiting for her parents, she's waiting to find out about her parents, I don't know. But why do people suggest Ruby has godlike powers? Well, in the Space Babies, she mentions Star Trek, and then later on, the Star Trek-looking crew show up, with Susan Twist as one of them in their uniforms. In The Devil's Chord, she mentions Strictly Come Dancing, then later on, two famous people who I don't know from Strictly Come Dancing enter the scene. So does she kind of have a little bit of control over her environment, even if she doesn't realise it? Maybe she creates herself? I don't know, let me know your theories in the comments down below, because that does bring us to the end of today's theory video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.